Hello, this is Sue, and you're with Get Sold. And um, I wanted to talk a little bit about authenticity and how difficult it has been for me to be that. I've been talking for months now about how I've been trying to heal from what I went through as a child. Problem is, all these years and all this time, I kept saying, I got this, I got this. And I've said that in my videos. But what has become very clear to me, I didn't get this. I have been struggling and suffering and on the brink for a couple of months now, which is absolute breakdown. And I think I was afraid to say that here because, like everyone else, you don't want to appear weak. But what I want to say is that when I sit back and think of it, I understand that we are multi-dimensional beings. So while one part of me may be healing and feeling pretty worn out and tired, another part of me is sort of picking up the slack. So I've always been comfortable with the spiritual and the soul side of things, as I've said. But as I've also said, the human side of me has not been well. And that's what I kind of realized. I ran into an old friend who will be my new roomie, and I'm really excited about it. And I'm being shown a lot right now from this person, and they live their authentic truth. And reconnecting showed me that I really need to be more honest with processing these feelings, processing these things. When I see how it has been so crippling all these years and trying to override it with this or that, oh, I'm doing something creative, or I don't tell people how many times I am just on the floor, numb, and just not functioning at all. And that's an authenticity that I was not able to share here because I thought, well, maybe that's not being a leader. Maybe that's not being helpful to anyone. But what happened a couple of weeks ago, actually a couple of months ago, was somebody in my circle. I don't want to divulge any information, but they had decided things were too much for them and went into a place to get mental help. And I was right there in my mind going, wait, you can't do that. I wanted to do that. No, you can't do that. My whole life, I've had those moments where I'm like, I just don't know where to go from here. I just don't know where to go. And I've said, I can't do it anymore. And have said, maybe if I could just check myself in somewhere, that would, but, and I wound up texting this person sort of off the ledge, the spiritual aspect of things, the soul part of things, and gave her a perspective that she needed. But getting back to being authentic with my own stuff, I guess I never really realized how how do I say damaged, or how oh God, how nothing as a child prepared me for life, prepared me for any part of it. So for me, having kids young shielded me or kept me in a bubble, because then I could just raise the kids and try to work on my artwork and things like that. But there was a safety net having the other parent involved, you know. And now I finally reached the point. I had this vision many, many years ago that it would come to do or die. Either I was going to succeed or I was going to just go out like my mother and just die frustrated, angry, dead ends all around, not getting the help I needed. but I knew that wasn't supposed to be my life. So I'm at that point. And this person that came into my life again, it was just like, we're like bookends for each other's strengths and weaknesses. And we're both learning self-love together. And what's interesting about this person is we both experienced the body dysmorphic issues. And I looked at this person and I said, well, you must look at me and think I'm ridiculous for thinking that, you know, I look like a normal person. But this is what I say about being authentic, is that you don't want anybody to know your fears, your secrets, your this or that, because you protect them thinking that that's all you have. And I've spent the last 6 years since being disconnected from the people that had stuff to do with that, the brainwashing and all that. So meeting this person was like a breath of fresh air. And this person is going down the trans path. And so therefore, when they look at me and say, you know, what's the matter with you? How could you be body dysmorphic? But we all have different circumstances. And mine were extreme. Mine all had to do with porn at a very young age and being sexualized as an infant, you know? And so, of course, I had no idea what I was supposed to look like. And I always felt like a freak and so forth. And then you have a person who's trying to feel just being what they need to feel as they want to be. They've always felt like a woman inside. So they're transitioning to a woman. So, you know, we're not, it's almost like I could see from their perspective that they would look at me and say, you know, but you are a woman. So what's the problem? I guess the point of all of this to do with authenticness is the fact that no matter who we are, where we are, our life, our childhood experiences shape what we then feel about ourselves later on in life. And I came from an extreme situation, but I would never admit that. I was always trying to be too smart, too clever, too masking, too fitting in, to whatever. And all of the charades, all of the curtains, all of it's coming down. And so I have been for the last few weeks unable to really produce videos. I've been doing the best I can, trying to keep the channel alive, but it's like I needed, you know, resuscitating. And so I'm glad Soul 2K is around me, because his massive energy, his massive unconditional love is like life support, even though I know I have to do it on my own. And that's where I'm at. But I was never able to really share with you guys how intense it's been, how I just wanted to check out so many times. But I know it's part of the course. The human just has to walk through it. The soul knows, the spirit of this human knows that if I can just get through this path, this last hurdle. And so where this person, my friend, has achieved success, and I knew this person when they were 15 years old and used to get beat up for just being themselves. And I thought, I never used to get beat up for being myself. I did that myself. I punished myself. I didn't need anybody to do it. And I'm sure that person did too, but put on a good, strong front. So I just wanted to be a little more authentic in my conversation about healing through trauma, that I was too smart for my own good, that my soul had the plan, and I trusted the soul, and I always do, because I'm more comfortable with the spiritual realm. I always have been, because I had to. Because what do we see here on earth? We see pain, suffering, we see people hurting one another. And as I became more aware of the bigger soul aspects, which is soul contracts, people working with each other to get to that place we need to get of self-love. Imagine if everyone right now practiced self-love and non-judgment. Imagine if we could see those who are behind pulling the strings, pushing us and pulling us until we find our own authenticity. And I think that's why personalities who are living their truth, you can either love them or hate them, but you know where they stand. And I remember thinking that as a kid, like my mom would always give the best answer to whoever needed it. It wasn't her truth. It was, who did she not want to offend? And that's not really the game. So I just want to be as authentic as I can. And I would like to do a little video journey on this new friend. Not new friend, I mean reconnection friend. She feels different because of the trans, because I always knew her as he, and I'm doing my best to respect and know that this is her journey and this is but she has an amazing attitude about it with her authenticity, because she knows who she feels like, who she is, and that she doesn't get offended if I slip up, or any of us who've known her for 30 plus years, slips up. But I would love to share some of this journey with you because she's teaching me so much. She's teaching me how to be authentic. And you'd think, but it's like every time I would try to make a video about how deep this goes, it was like something would always just shut off in my head and I wouldn't get the words out. And then it's like, okay, that was like the last 10 videos. You didn't really say anything. You didn't really cut to the chase here and just be like, okay, this is what I'm going through. It's hell. I have no energy. I have no ambition right now. And I know that's probably a type of depression because I've been in and out my whole life. And I'm still doing my herbs. That means I'm in a good, I'm at least hanging on if I'm still doing my herbs. Gotten to the place before where when I don't take the herbs, that means I'm in trouble. But, I also have to stay very aware of let's just say the little thought demons, that step in and kind of say, oh, you're feeling low today? Well, let's see how low we can go. So my authentic place is I'm really struggling with what I saw myself as a child, and all the things I was missing and all the things I was desperately trying to pretend or find in other people. When I lived in a codependent place, I was constantly needing the energy of others, and I didn't know it. I didn't understand it. I would never want to do that to another person. I'd rather give energy, raise my vibration, my frequency to give it rather than be a drain on someone. But that was the programming. And I've hurt a lot of people by falling into that old programming because I wasn't strong enough to understand it, to see it, to undo it, to learn how to rewire it. But I believe everyone can. I was, I don't know, lucky in that like I always say, had one eye open to the spiritual side. And I would always just say, there's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. I don't believe that our creator would just put us in a pit of shit and just be like, there, no. I believe the bigger reason is I have a mission. We all do. And we have to find out what that is. And we have to, it just feels so much more extreme because I've hidden so much from everyone, not being authentic, but not realizing it. I just thought I thought I could handle all of it. And it's almost like my soul is, I gave up trying to find therapists because every time I would, try, it was like, no, we don't have any openings, or no, we don't specialize in this, or no, we don't. So I turned to my intuitives, but right now they're all busy doing their lives right now. And so that's up to me. And they always said I was strong, and sometimes I got mad saying, I don't want to be strong. I need to be supported right now. I just need to know that if I need to fall apart, that's what needs to happen on purpose, that's the process, that I don't have to hide anymore, that I don't have to pretend to be strong, because right now I'm not, but that's okay. That's what I would tell someone else. What I would tell somebody else is that that's how you get to where you need to be. And when that person was in the facility, that's the kind of lingo I explained to her, that our soul has a bigger purpose. And though it seems very bleak now, if you can just follow it, if you can just follow your inner compass, it's not easy. But I wanted to be honest with everybody as best I can. The human has to do its thing, no matter how spiritual you are, no matter how much of an empath or an intuitive or a channel, or any of the beautiful ways that we help one another with love and energy. I have to keep reverting back to the human. My human was very, very tossed around and never really had the support that my little girl and my human needed to be authentic. Well, I hope you'll want to join me on the journey that my old to new friend, will be creating together, and both of us trying to find our place in life. I think she has, and now she needs that recuperative time, and now I need to go out there and do what I'm supposed to do, whatever that is. So thank you for just being here. I really appreciate it. And like I said, I have big plans for this channel. I have big plans, but I have to get through this stuff first. I have to get through it first. And it's not easy. I'm much better at giving other people advice than I am having to live through this process. Thank you. Love you very much. And I'm so grateful for those of you who have subscribed. It's going to get better. It's going to get way more exciting. I promise. I have to work on the technical side, and when you're depressed and when you're just have no energy, which I'm looking into too, because I know there's more. Something else is going on, but fear and stress will do that to you. Every time I'm trying to talk my way out of fear, there's that thing of, well, you finally reach that point where you're out of money, you're out of you're in a bad place, and you have to get out of the bad place because you have to learn how to be completely independent of all of the beliefs, limiting beliefs of everything. You need to be in this life as yourself. And it's really hard for me, but thank you. And I've got some ideas again on some more shows, and I keep writing them down, and I got to get through this process first. Thanks.